Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
I'm MJ in the house without a tooth.
A brand new episode of Wrestling Inside is Party with Marty is next. Stand by.
Wrestling fans, Saturday night, May the 8th, MWF Studios gets extreme as ECW legend New Jack joins us for the very first time, taping episodes of Wrestling Insiders along with taking part in a live cyber autograph signing open to fans around the world. For more information on joining the three-time ECW Tag Team Champion for Must-See TV, visit BostonWrestling.com and our social media platforms.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Arguably the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Get this limited edition collector's autograph print personally signed by two-time WWE Hall of Famer Nature Boy Ric Flair, inscribed 16 times for each of his recognized World Championship reigns. One of only 50 made direct from our friends at WWE. Also signed by original artist Rob Schamberger. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome Ric Flair collectible for your wrestling collection now.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
Boston Wrestling Sports and the MWF explodes into a new year of unknown with professional wrestling content galore, and we need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after we review the previous night's Monday Night Raw, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights after WWE, NXT, and AEW at 10 p.m., you never know who's going to show up on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey through the 80s and 90s on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday nights after the lights go down at the Thunderdome on SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. If you want early, ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and to help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times, for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another Thursday installment of Wrestling Insiders. With that, it is Party with Marty. Always a pleasure to have Marty Jannetty with us here in studio.
Where's my phone?
Oh, here we go with that again. Where's his phone? Well, I tell you this.
It's always over by him lately.
It's been ringing so much since that live episode.
I don't
think
know.
you're ever going to
He gave
lose
my
it again.
damn number out, man, on live TV.
Well, I tell you, let's jump back into the era that the fans love, the time we continue to speak of, known as 1989, not to be confused with the Prince song. After WrestleMania 5, you had wrapped up that big program you had with the Brainbusters that went a good 4 or 5 months. And it was on to an angle with Jacques and Raymond, the Rougeau brothers.
We always call them Jacques.
Rougeau. And he'd get so upset about that. He's like, that's not my name. Why do you say my name like you're throwing up? Oh, I'm sorry. Rougeau. And Raymond. We loved working with them. Mm-hmm. They were so good. Well, Sean had attitude with everybody pretty much.
He didn't like the
Not with
Rougeaus.
the Powers of Pain. He didn't have no attitude with them.
But what was the issues with the Rougeaus?
He thought they were lazy.
He thought the Rougeaus were, really?
Yeah.
I thought the Rougeaus were
They
considered
were good workers.
as good workers, yeah.
You know, because we had to do our marathon matches, hour long, and it's the most amount of falls, and we'd always be 2-2 at the end of the hour,
Yep.
so you went, overtime, first one to win. And so you got to pace, man. You can't go 100 miles an hour on those. We did those for like 3 months. We worked an hour, where everybody else was doing 15-minute matches, we worked an hour 20, hour 15 every damn night. But I enjoyed it, and the Rougeaus enjoyed it. But Sean was just so ambitious, maybe, we'll put it that way, that he just thought, like, we're being lazy, because we would start the match out, that Rougeau would come do one-arm push-ups. Can you do that? And then Sean would do one-arm push-ups. And then he would do a nip-up. He would do a nip-up. Can you do that? And one of us, me or Sean, would do a nip-up. And then there was 3 things. Oh, flip over the top rope, pull the rope, flip in. They would do that. I'd flip in, and he's like, Sean's is like, no, tag me in. I tag Sean. He goes, what about this, Jacques? And he'd go up the top rope and do that back flip. Mm-hmm. And then Jacques was like, he'd go up there and be scared, like he's getting up there getting scared, he's shaking, and he'd come back down to the place and go crazy, because he was scared. But we killed like 15 minutes of the 45-minute, hour-long thing. And Sean just thought, they're just killing time. No, the people were into it. We'll do a one-arm push-up, we'll do a one-arm push-up. When the people aren't making no noise, that's when you're fucking up. But they were into it. But Sean, he was so ambitious, he wanted to do more. And sometimes less is more. For my kids out there that I like to train, remember that. Less is more.
It's hard to do a 60-minute Ironman match without, or you can't
Pacing.
You can't go 60 miles an hour for 60 minutes.
Well, right,
you know
and when
I mean?
he did, remember when he had Brett, when he beat Brett?
I thought that one was awful.
Awful?
I thought I was so bored with that match.
It was slow.
Oh my God.
But he did it, him and Brett did it. How you going to complain about slow motion? Y'all was in a headlock for 10 minutes.
I remember reading the sports page from the Sunday paper as that match was going on. I was so bored with it. For the main event of WrestleMania that I...
Yeah, and that's when Jimmy Snuka got introduced to the Hall of Fame.
No.
You still owe me a dinner.
No, that was the Slammies that took place the night before. The Hall of Fame was the night before Survivor Series. Huh?
At 12, WrestleMania 12, out in L.A.
The night before WrestleMania 12 with the Slammy Awards. The Hall of Fame in 1996 was the night before Survivor Series.
Well, here's why I remember L.A. pretty good.
Yeah.
I brought one of my best friends out there, Jimmy Rougeau.
Well, it was Anaheim, first of all.
Well, they're right there together. Stop it, damn it, Hollywood boy. But there was a black girl that I was seeing and a white girl that I was seeing, but they started seeing each other.
Oh.
And the black girl had a chain and a necklace that said master. And the white girl had one that matched, but it said slave. And they kind of played that out.
Really?
Yeah, that was their sex role. Like the black girl would, spank and, well, I can't be telling you all that, but yeah.
No, you go ahead. We're on after 10 o'clock.
Oh, that's true, ain't it?
Yeah.
Anybody under 9 years old, go to bed right now. Don't do this.
Cover your ears.
Yeah.
You've been warned.
Yeah, but it was so cool because they played the role. They came to the room that night, of course, and showed us what that meant. It was master, slave. She spanked the hell out. She had belts and.
Now, who were you?
But
with?
it was like easy. It wasn't like beat up type thing.
Who
it
were you
was good
with?
for sex. Do what?
Who were you with?
Both of them.
Oh, no, you said they came to our room. Who was?
Oh, Jimmy, my buddy, flew him in.
Oh, your friend that came in for the show. I see.
Yeah. Yeah, he was amazed. He's like, this is what you get on the road?
Every night.
Every fucking night.
Every night.
There's a little twist each time.
Guys have had various opinions about the Rougeaus in the studio over the years. Your thoughts about the
I love them
personal sides of Jacques and
I
Raymond?
love them both. Raymond is a solid, great worker. Jacques is a good, solid worker. Jacques is a good worker. I love their personalities. They're fun. They're a little corny.
Oh.
They're kind of corny. In fact, we were somewhere wrestling, and Yak got on the microphone, and he goes, "This one girl that she was there, he knew that she was there with me." And damn it, where's that knife?
I don't know. Did you take it with you home?
No, I didn't take it. But anyway,
Maybe
I got to cut
Glantz
my hair.
took
I
it.
ain't had a haircut in a year.
Maybe Glantz took it.
God's come and got our knife. But Yak was he got on the microphone and he pointed at a girl. He goes, "This is one of their girlfriends. They probably met her in a bar." And he went crazy because it's like the Canadian humor, kind of thing. And we were sitting there like, fuck. We thought that was hilarious. Pat Patterson told us later, like, "Oh, it's the Canadian comedy thing." Because, it's meeting somebody in a bar evidently is not where you meet people that you're supposed to like, I guess. Well, they probably met her in a bar. But I loved them both, man. I loved them both.
Well, Jacques was kind of one that had some say was an arrogant individual. Would you agree with that?
He came off that way, yeah.
No, why? How so?
Well, he was confident. Sometimes confidence comes off as arrogant. Look at Sean.
Right.
He was way confident.
And what about Raymond, where he was
Raymond was a sweetheart.
I'm going to ask again that, that they keep the center camera on. When we have great guests like Marty, and 95% of the time, please, keep the camera on Marty. Sometimes I need to, send messages out to the people.
When that was
well,
on
right
me.
now it's on the hard camera. So I want the camera on Marty so the people can invest and engage in your stories decades from now.
Flip-flops again?
Well, that's all I can wear.
He fell on a block of ice the other day.
I did. Well, like I said, 95% of the time, people want to see Marty. We have several vantage points of Marty because he likes to rock, baby.
Used to. You know what happened?
What happened?
All my friends are telling me to take Viagra, and I don't need it.
Well,
I know I'm at the age where I guess all my friends are needing it. They're like, "You need some Viagra?" I'm like, "No, no, why?" Well, come on, man, you're 60, almost 60. How old am I?
61 now.
I am not 60, damn one. I'll go with 60. But yeah, all my friends my age, they're saying their parts aren't working, and so they figure mine ain't either. Nah, ain't no problems down there. In fact, when I don't have girls at the house, my hand goes, ah, shit.
Oh my goodness! I literally almost choked on that one. But what about Raymond? Here's a guy now in 2021. He's still with the WWE family as part of the French announce team.
Yeah, up there in Montreal.
No, he goes through the pay-per-views each month. Yeah.
Oh, he does the
French commentary.
Yeah.
What is it about Raymond that you think now, over 30 years from the big run the Rougeau's had, has kept him part of the WWE universe?
Because he's very responsible. He's very good. He's a very responsible guy. A lot of guys fuck off a little bit.
Yeah.
Raymond's not one of those. He's solid. Work ethic is great. Very loyal. Them French Canadians, I will say this for their little gay ass. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, we have a French one here with a little ass, too, at the studio.
No, I'm
Cecil's friend.
I'm back at the LGBTQ club thing.
Oh, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, I don't want to offend nobody. But, I got a lot of gay friends. I'm just not. You know what I told one of my friends one time?
Let's hear this.
They asked me about being gay, and I said, look, man, I'm just not into sucking dick, so I wouldn't be good at it, so why bother?
Well, that's a good perspective to have on it.
I don't want to do anything half-assed.
Right. Or half-cocked. But
Hey,
different story for a different time. So did the boys seem to like Raymond more than they did Jacques?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because Jacques did come off as arrogant. And he brought it on himself. Remember, Dynamite Kid slapped the shit out of him in his dressing room. I think in Miami. I don't know where it was. But I know me and
Jacques
Sean
was innocent, wasn't he, for that instance?
Yes. That's what we heard. Yeah, Dynamite was a little bit of a bully.
Yeah.
I mean, a little small one, 5'6" bully. but he would go, man. He was. But he slapped in the face. Probably mistimed it. He meant to slap him for something he was cocky for, but he missed that. and he came and got him for something else that wasn't right.
It was a rib. Wasn't it a Mr. Perfect rib it turned into in the end?
If it was, I don't know about that.
I believe that's how you addressed it when we discussed November of 1988.
Maybe, I don't know.
You don't remember?
I got a bad memory. You know,
No, I think your memory
Rob
is
Van Dam's
superb.
a good friend of mine. You know, RVD.
You told me that Rob Van Dam enjoys the program.
Right, and yes, because he watches and he's like, he goes, Marty, I don't think you got CTE. You know, because I think I got CTE.
Yeah.
And you offered to help with some doctor.
Dr. David Reese.
Yeah. And Rob said, I don't think you got that. He goes, you're all over the map with your ADHD. He goes, but when you settle down and talk, he goes, I learned shit. He goes, I hate to admit it, but I learned stuff from you. You're pretty knowledgeable. And he goes, if you had CTE, nobody would know what the hell you were talking about, including you. He said, he called it prolonged concussion, something other, which I don't, what's the difference, man?
Right.
Concussions. And CTE,
Well, maybe what he was referring to
well, he
affects the
did
brain a little
documentaries.
different.
Oh,
did he?
Yeah,
Oh, I
he
didn't know
studied
that.
up on that Nowinski dude. Or the guy.
Chris Nowinski, yeah.
He's from up here, ain't
He is. He runs the Concussion Legacy
Yeah.
Here in Boston. Each October, we have a big dinner in Boston that we go to. David Reese, the president of Boston Wrestling Sports, he gets a big table. And, you know, there's some very interesting guests every year that have been affected by concussions. WWE has become heavily involved. They make a nice financial
Yeah, because they were going to
donation
get their
every
ass
year.
sued.
They usually send a couple of talents in to represent the company, along with Triple H, who's on the board of directors for the Legacy.
I've never had sex with Melanie or Stephanie in public.
Yeah, just in private. That might be for the best. So what about Jock?
About who?
You think he did?
Who?
Jock?
You
Is
know,
that
there
why
was
he
a rumor around that Macho Man did, but I don't think so. I think that was a storyline. You know, I forgot who he was arguing with, but he was acting like, oh, probably Triple H. And he was acting like, oh, I've been with Stephanie. Yeah.
Well, they weren't. They were never in the same company at the same time.
Well, I might be wrong.
All right. Well, Triple H was finishing up.
I just don't think Randy and her ever.
You don't think it ever happened?
No.
You think it's just one of those wrestling rumors?
Yeah,
gone
they
wild?
grow. Yeah.
All right. Well, but
You know what's funny as hell? Sometimes wrestling fans tell us, we were there, but they tell us what happened. Okay, I was there.
Well, that's why I think it's so important to document all these great stories, not just from you, but from all, not just top tier main eventers, but from the bottom of the card to the top of the card.
Yeah,
Everybody has a very unique perspective of the industry and the people in it, I think. Again, one man's opinion.
You're almost the size of two men.
I'm almost the size of two
pretty
men.
big, man. You're pretty,
all right. Well, I didn't
6
think I
foot-
was quite that big.
6'3", you're pretty,
Yeah.
you know, can y'all tell he's pretty thick?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I
You
don't
put
know
me
if it's a
over, brother.
compliment. You ain't gotta
You
thank
pushed
me.
me over. But I mean, the run you had with the Rougeaus, again, that was a pretty long run. It started right
A
after
good one, too,
WrestleMania.
man. It was so easy.
And it went all the way into the fall. I remember the marathon match that you had in Boston. That would have been September of '89.
or best of.
Yeah. The hour match, because the Ultimate Warrior and Andre matches were going 30 seconds, so they needed to.
When would this air?
This is probably, oh God, you know I'm terrible
Like
with
6
that.
weeks or something.
The ones we taped yesterday are
Two
going
or
to air over
3.
the next couple weeks.
Right.
This one is going to be a little further out because
Also, the Boston Celtics might still be doing good.
we
They're doing
hope.
pretty.
We hope. I'm a Celtics fan.
Are you?
I am. I like them. I think they have
Well,
a good
they're
little
pretty good
unit
this
right
year.
now
I
with
don't know
Tatum and Walker and.
I don't know anybody's
Brown
going to beat
and-
the York Nets, but
Well, you know what?
They
That's
got
why
that-
they play the games, right?
Right.
That's why they play
yeah,
the games.
we used to say it sounds good on paper, but you got to go out there and play now.
Was there ever a point where the hour marathon matches became too much? Did you get sick of them?
No, I didn't. I don't know about Sean.
Mm-hmm.
He just was. He was, you know, there was a song, "Don't go chasing waterfalls,
yeah.
stick to the rivers and the lakes you used to." Sean was just trying to go too fast. I mean, just calm your little ass down. We'll get there. But he would, no, that's not fast enough. Calm your little ass down. Because you learn to work every kind of style. When you do an hour-long match, whole different style you got to work. But you're learning. If you can do an hour match, you can certainly do a 15-minute match. You know, you learn. You never stop learning. When you stop learning, you stop growing. If that makes sense.
How would you compare that long series of matches you had with the Rougeaus to the feud you came into that program from, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, the Brain Busters?
What a difference.
Yeah.
because the intensity was different. With the Rougeaus, it was play. You know, like I said, you know, one arm push up. Okay, we do a one arm push up, and you get all upset. You know, backflip into the ring, or not backflip, yak. Could do a forward. You slingshot yourself in to your feet, and I would do that. You know, Sean would get up on the top and do that backflip in. And that's what Jacques couldn't do, and he'd get up there and start shaking and be scared to climb back down. Once he climbed back down, it was like coward. The whole place would boo and laugh at him. It was more a little bit of a comic routine, you know, whereas not at all with the Brainbusters. It's serious from beginning to end, you know. But just two different styles. You learn. You need them both. You incorporate them both into your future, you know.
As far as the wallet went, did those long, hour-long matches lead to any little boost in the payday?
No,
at
we got
all,
the same damn pay for
really?
10 minutes
Yeah.
as an hour and 20 minutes. It was always, at that time, it was according to where you were in the card.
Right.
If you're middle, you got middle pay. It didn't matter how long you went. You can go 1 minute or an hour and 20. You get the same motherfucking $500.
I think there were some fans that had a little bit of confusion as far as to what the marathon match was. I remember in Boston, as I mentioned, you guys did it in September of '89. Warrior and Andre went on before intermission, and you guys closed out the show.
They wasn't supposed to. They were
And
supposed to be the last match.
After the first fall, a lot of the fans were getting up and leaving because they thought that was the end.
Yeah, first of all.
They didn't really do a great job explaining the marathon match.
I think they did, but the fans were tired. They just wanted to get the hell out of there. This is enough. I mean, and generally, even with the Rougeaus, Sean and I pretty much always had the best match of the night. You know, sometimes they call it stealing the show, because if you're not the main event and you have the best match, they call it you stole the show. Well, we didn't consider it that. We just figured we were lucky enough to have somebody good enough to work with that they considered our match the best of the night. And I watched the other matches, and our match was the best of the night. And nothing against none of the other guys. I love them all. But, I mean, you know, I got to give this to Sean, too. We worked our ass. We worked as hard as we possibly could. And there was a little bit of a competition between us, like who was better.
You're
That made
talking
us
about
both
you
better.
and Sean?
Yeah, he
Even in
always wanted
89?
to outdo me.
Oh.
And he's a natural athlete. I have to work hard to be a good athlete. That's why when I see a hard worker, I fall in love with him. Sean was the kind that God blessed him. He can go do backflips and whatever twist turns, whatever the hell he wants, without practicing. You know, it's God gift. That's a God gift. We call them natural athletes. And you know, and I wasn't that. I had to work my ass off to be close to as good as him. But he always thought that he had to compete with me, you know, because of how hard I worked. And he knew he didn't work hard, so he's like, oh, damn, let me outdo him at least. So, but it made us both better, you know, because, you know, it wasn't like we're marking it on the calendar, I did better tonight. But you want to do as best you can, and your partner is pushing you to do a little bit better, you do better. You know, so we were lucky in that sense, too, you know.
Where it was, again, a 5-6 month run with the Rougeaus with these series of matches. Not all of them were marathon, but once they get to the point, once you get to the point where you were underneath Warrior and Andre when they were doing those 30-second matches, they had to fill in the card somehow.
You know what was funny?
Okay.
Warrior, you know, that was his big get over because Andre was letting him win.
In 30 seconds.
He wouldn't have won. He wouldn't have won unless Andre let him win.
Yeah.
And but he would buy. You know, Andre would sit in the dressing room, and he'd have a cooler like you keep beer in, but he'd be full of wine, like 10 bottles or so, iced down, playing cribbage the whole time, opening the bottle and just drinking them. He'd drink 3 or 4 bottles before he went to the ring of wine. And so Warrior every night bought him a nice bottle of wine, you know, as a gift.
Really?
Well, you know, making sure he's, hey, I love you, brother. Here's a bottle of wine, you know, for doing that, you know, because that got Warrior over, beating him in 30 seconds, like you said.
Nightly.
Yeah. And but he did. He'd give Andre a bottle every night.
Out of those 5 and 6 months with the Rougeaus, were there any matches, any places that stood out, anything maybe that went wrong on one-off night or anything like that?
One time when we were up in Canada, oh shoot, where were we? I think we was way up in Nova Scotia, which is way north. It's way up north Canada. And there was a couple girls that came through the room, and Jacques Rougeau was, I think he was married, I don't know, but he never messed around. He never went out. He never went clubbing or anything. He was always squeezing pennies. He didn't go to a club, you got to save his money. But this one girl that I was with, I was cutting up. She had a little short mini skirt. And we was in the elevator going up to the room to check in and then go to the club. And Jacques was in the elevator with us. And I was like giving her a hug. I said, "Hey, Jacques, what do you think?" And I pulled her, the back in, and she didn't have no panties on or nothing. And his eyes just got like this. And it was funny the next day, and she kind of pulled her skirt down. Don't do that. And then she kind of got mad at me. It lasted half the night, and then she finally came around, and you know what happened. But the next day, it was so funny. Jacques shook my hand. This is a little bit weird, right? He shook me. He goes, "Thank you." I was like, "Why?" He goes, "That worked." In other words, he kept that visual and went to the room, and I guess Raymond was in the other bed, had to hear him over there yanking. But he said, "That worked. Thank you." He shook my hand on that.
That's part rib and part serious, I think. He appreciated the visual of the pantyless woman.
He kept
that
it in his head till he got to the room.
Poor Raymond, though. I don't know if he would have.
I wondered. That's what I wondered. What are you doing, jacking off, and your brother's laying over there having to see and hear that?
Well, you were a man that had a lot of sex in your time when you were on the road, but
sometimes accidentally.
Were there ever times when maybe you went through a little bit of a lull, and you, while sharing a room with someone else, when either you or the person you were in the room with decided to
do that,
handle the situation, so to speak?
Well, I don't think so. I'm trying to think about that one. I don't think so.
To me, that would be a little uncomfortable.
I would leave.
You would leave? You'd give them the privacy?
I'd give them about half hour to hurry up.
Half an hour? Half an hour?
How long do they need?
Well, I never said a stopwatch, but I don't think I need half an hour. You're very generous with your time for this masturbating.
I don't need to hear them squishing like with Vaseline.
Swishing. All right. Well,
are we supposed to be talking about this kind of thing on TV?
Where we go on this show, it's an adventure that never ends. It is the party with Marty.
Howard!
Howard's not here. I don't think he's going to hear you.
Oh.
We have John C. and Cecil the Lion.
What's up, y'all? Y'all good?
Cecil's getting ready for his big land party on February 28th.
What's
Would
that?
you be?
Land party.
A land party.
What else do you have a party?
Huh?
A land party?
Yeah.
What's a land party, bruh?
Cecil, tell them what a land party is.
You party on land?
It has to do with video games.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're a gamer?
Andy's a lion. Andy was pet, like he was a zoo animal in front of the studio.
One of my girlfriends asked about you last night.
Which one?
Kara, the black one.
I don't think I've met her.
You talked to her on the phone.
Oh, did I? I know I spoke to Miranda. Who?
Kara. You speak about her all the time.
You've had me speak to so many people on that phone, I can't keep track of them.
Where is my phone?
Oh, over there charging. I remember Miranda because she was last night.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah.
But she wanted to, I can't remember if your wife, is that your wife with the kid?
Linda?
Yeah.
She's not my wife, no.
Y'all were never married?
Never married.
What's your
Thank God.
Can I tell him?
If you want to waste time, sure.
It ain't wasting time. You love the girl. He's trying to get back with his ex.
No, I'm not.
I thought you said you love her.
As a human being, sure.
What else would you love her as?
Well, you know what I mean.
She's not a dog.
Anyway, back to the subject at hand. 1989 in the World Wrestling Federation. In the spring, as you guys were starting your program with the Rougeaus, Hacksaw Jim Duggan defeated Haku to become the king. Right around the same time, they introduced the $1 Million Championship to give Ted DiBiase something a little fresh. Yep, this is all the spring of '89. Did it almost become at that point where you had the world title, the Intercontinental title, the tag team titles? Now you have a $1 Million belt. You have the crown being passed around.
Yeah, there was a bunch of shit coming
Did you think
around.
there was a little bit much at that point?
Remember they started doing the pay-per-view in your house?
Oh, that wasn't until '95. That was 6 years later, Marty.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Damn.
The
Yeah, because
first
we
one
had
was
the 4 pay-per-views forever. Then they started adding in your house. And I had to do Gold Dust the first time.
well, that's fast forward in about 6 years.
Oh, we stayed in 80. What
yeah,
year?
we're in 1989.
All right.
A great year. So
It was for me. That was my biggest money year.
did you think at that point, though, you know, $1 million belt, a crown being passed around, along with 3 different championships?
You know
did
what?
you think it was a little much?
You know what my honest answer to that is?
I want to know.
I was so into girls, I didn't care
Yeah,
how many
you didn't
belts
really
they
care
had.
about the king.
No, I can't wait till the show's over so we can get to the club. I didn't care if everybody had a damn belt.
Well, I mean, you don't want to.
And they almost did, though. Everybody had a fucking belt. Excuse my language. Everybody had a fucking belt. Everybody had a belt.
Later on, especially during the Attitude
Yeah, you
Era,
had
when
the
they just kept adding and
Intercontinental, you had
adding
the
and
$1 million
adding.
belt, you had the King of the Ring, you had the International Mongoloid, and you had, what was the other one? There was another one that was a European belt. Then you had, of course, the World Championship and the tag team. I mean, it was like, fuck. It was like, what match ain't got a belt?
Right. Well, at that point,
Brad Ranges.
oh, he never had one.
No, he is.
No,
You
he-
know, what we always said about Brad. I love you, Brad. But he was always the opening match.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they played the national anthem? We always called that his ring music.
Well, let me ask you this: looking back on it now, do you think that Jim Duggan was the man to defeat Haku for the crown?
Jim was over. Haku was still kind of getting, you know. Yeah, I guess.
Do you think?
You know,
if-
Vince didn't make that many mistakes. He made a few.
not in
one
that era.
One time he
in
fucked
that
up
era,
real
he was
bad.
doing very good.
He fucked up real bad one time.
Now, how was that?
He let me go.
Well, the first of many, but
Now, I got fired like 5 times, 4 or 5, and I quit like 3 or 4. So
all right,
I was
so
in and
it
out
was
more.
almost a 50-50 split.
Almost,
Yeah.
yeah. They might have got the better of me. They might have fired me more than I quit. But Iron Sheik was mad as hell. Marty, you'll fuck up my record. Because he was up like 5 or 6 times.
You and Cheeky Baby, yep. The two of you, I think, neck and neck is for the most axings.
And everybody would tell you, though, the last 2 times I came and went, everybody like Al Snow tells me this, oh, Marty's got the record. How's our ratings doing?
Through the roof, baby.
Are they?
Through the roof.
Somebody told me last night you got a fixation on ass-eating Annie. Because you talk about her all the time.
You know, the thing is, on this show, Annie comes up a lot. On
yeah,
Tony's show,
yeah, how?
on Tony's show, Lanny and the servicing comes up almost every episode in some way, shape, or form. So there's something different. And now with John Cena Sr., it's Margot Ouellette, Maurice's mother, in his piece. So each show has its own topic of conversation, I guess.
Well, why don't you ever talk about the 1, 2, 3 kid, X-Pac?
Well, we're going to get there. I have a lot to ask about the 1, 2, 3.
Well, no,
kid.
I told you about, the girl, that a beautiful girl that,
Yeah.
I wanted to be, I was on top of my girl looking over at his girl. And then, he had to go to the
You're
bathroom.
talking 94, though.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, well, we'll get there.
And she called him, she goes, why do they call you the 1, 2, 3 kid? It should be 2 pumps and a squirt. I felt so bad for him. And she was so
And
beautiful.
how did Sean respond to that, out of curiosity? Do
He
you
went to the
remember?
bathroom and said, I'll be back.
And he never came out?
I think he told her we started at the same time.
Well, I always liked him. He's a good egg.
He's a good one.
He's a good one.
Yeah.
Another one I'd love to have here in the studio as time goes on. But again,
You want me to call him?
not right now.
What I mean for the show.
At the right time, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
he'd be fun. You'd like him.
I know he does a program, I think of his own out in California
Does he?
with
No, that's
out
not
of
bad now.
Maria Menouno's studio.
Have you ever had sex with her?
No, but you know what? She's actually from Medford, Mass, which is 2 cities
Is she?
away. Yep.
She's all over Ridiculous a lot too. Ridiculousness.
Yeah.
The MTV show.
She grew up a big WWF fan because she's
Yeah,
right
she was
about
on
my
there for
age.
a couple minutes.
Yeah, yeah, she did a WrestleMania match once.
Yeah.
Never met her, but no, she
No,
literally.
I've not met her in person
You
either.
could throw a stone. She's from so close to this studio, but
Medford.
Medford, yep,
Well, where's Melrose?
where you're sitting right now.
This Melrose.
Yeah.
Melrose Place.
All right, another interesting.
This is a rich area.
Melrose is, yes.
Yeah, when we were coming up, the driver, I think he was South African.
Yeah.
Because he had the accent and all. you know, and a black brother. Man, we laughed the whole way here. But we got in this area, and I'm like, how long you been here? He goes, oh, about 20 years. And I'm like, gosh, damn, is this a rich area? Where we at? And he goes, oh, rich area.
Dino.
Because there's huge ass houses
Yeah.
here. It's like, how many people can live in that?
I know, right?
What the fuck? You got 40 rooms and 3 people.
They're all old homes too, so.
Yeah, and the wood though, if
Yeah.
like the windstorm, like Sandy, remember Hurricane Sandy? I think it made it up this way.
Yeah.
I know it did in New York. I was
But
living
it
in New
didn't.
York
It
at
really,
the time.
we had
You got the
the
remnants.
tail
We
end.
got
Yeah, the tail end.
yeah, we got it from New York. We got it pretty big.
Oh, you were down there at
Yeah.
that point?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I actually did help to clean up. You know, go pick up the limbs and bust it up. But it did, and what made me say this, man, if you're going to spend $250,000 on a house, don't make it be wood. I mean, shit, get brick. A big ass storm comes by and all your toothpicks just blew away. That's why I just don't understand. Spend that much money on a wooden house.
You know, that's a really good observation now that you think about it. For those home buyers out there, Marty's real estate advice comes free here
You know,
on
I was a
Wrestling
mortgage
Insiders
broker.
Party with Marty. What's that?
I was a mortgage broker for a
Really?
minute. Yep. Yeah, me and that girl I married, Annette, the one I married for 4
Oh, was that
days.
the business you were talking
Yes.
about? Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
wow.
called it Paradigm Mortgage. That was her name. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, she taught me, and my dad loved. That's why my dad loved her so
Yeah.
much. 'Cause
She was a
took
real
his
estate
son-
agent?
Yeah, she still lives today. But she took my dad. Took his son and taught him something, whereas all the other ones just taught me how to fuck. Oh shit.
Oh.
Sex, but she actually taught me a business, and I was pretty good, man. And the only thing I got mad at her about that shit too, because all the wrestlers were making money back then. You know, they were coming to me to buy, you know, like, I got this much to spend on a home. And you have to fill out a whole form, like, you know, the biggest thing is debt ratio, how much in, how much out. And loan to value, the place that you might want. She would take what were they called, AB loans? And they were called, back then they were called conforming loans, which meant they were good ones. She would take all the good ones from my guys, my wrestlers. She would take the good loans and give me the CD, which were non-conforming, the shit loans that probably won't go through. You know, and I was like, how the fuck is this working? I'm the one that found all this shit, and you give me out. Yeah, she was trashed in. I knew she was trashed in. Why'd you let me marry her?
I didn't know you back then.
You would have let me marry her?
Do you remember some of the people you helped get houses for?
Hercules has such a tax problem. And usually taxes in medical don't count that much, but when you owe over 100 grand to the IRS, it does matter.
So he was a C and a D.
Yeah, she gave me that one. She gave me that loan.
Yeah, who else did you help? Can you think of anybody off the top of your head?
Now off the top of my head.
Just Hercules, you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick Martel. I think Dino was already dead by then. But I think he had asked. But you know,
really?
Yeah, but then he got shot up.
He
You know
didn't
about
need
that?
to
You know
move
what
it.
happened?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Well, you know.
I know what.
They don't know what happened. Tell them what happened to
I
Dino.
think Dino Bravo was killed by the supposedly the mafia up in Montreal over a couple of trucks of cigarettes gone missing.
Right, yeah.
Not a couple of
Well, it
cases
wasn't
of
just
cigarettes,
that.
a couple of trucks.
It wasn't just that, and I hope I ain't getting myself in trouble here. He wasn't working for WWE anymore, and they told him, slow down on what you're buying because you can't explain it. You don't have a job right now. You know, he was, and right after they told him that, I guess he bought a $10,000 in-ground pool.
It was like a Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
When they got mad after
Yeah,
they
when
killed the guy with
like
the truck.
fur coats and shit. Get
Bring
this
it back.
shit out of
Bring it
here.
back. Bring
Get
it
out.
back.
Yeah, take that car back. I love that movie, man.
The way it was explained to me by a very close friend of Dino's was that, Dino got involved with the mafia up there as far as transporting the cigarettes.
Yep.
And one truck of the cigarettes, supposedly, after it was parked, it was robbed and stolen. You know, not just a couple of cartons, a whole truckload of cigarettes. Yeah. And then within a few weeks later, the same thing happened again.
Uh-oh,
and
Dino's
they weren't as forgiving the second time. And he
that don't look good.
And he was making, before you look at whatever stolen cigarettes might have been involved, 40 grand a week.
Yeah, it was.
That's a lot more than Vince money.
That's what I heard. It was 40 grand.
40
a week.
grand a week.
Yeah, but you got to explain where you getting this. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
the government's watching you. Where are you getting this? You're not with
gotta keep it in the
WWE no
safe.
more.
Yeah, you got to keep it in the safe and hide it, and try and live off of
That's
it
what I do
sparingly.
now.
You told me that, and I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you that?
Dino Bravo, yeah. Dino was around
We
during
didn't say it on TV, did we?
that. All right, well, I don't think anyone's going to find you. You're
I
so
arrest-
in such a
what's-
remote area.
Erwin Shyster might be watching.
Oh, well.
What was his name? Erwin something?
Irwin R. Shyster,
yeah.
IRS. After Vince's problems
I
with
love
the
Mike, man.
IRS,
Mike's
he
another good
created
one.
a character. But any memories, Dino Bravo? I don't think you really had any big
Yeah,
programs
one time.
with him, but any
Oh,
memories?
not
of-
against him. No. But one time in the club, man, I was, you know, something. I used to get drunk.
Yeah.
I used to drink.
This is a
little bit.
surprise, yeah.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, man, I don't remember what happened. I was late for everybody went partying. It was in Tampa. Great place to party. And I found the club they were at, everybody was at. And I was so happy. And I love Dino, man. We always flew with Ronnie Garvin. What are you
Right.
doing? You're calling your wife?
No, I'm just trying to send across a very important message.
Not during the show.
Well, that's why I asked them to keep the cameras on you. But anyway, I'm continuing. I'm interested in this.
You know, tell me what you're writing. You love her,
No,
don't you?
it has
You love her,
nothing
don't
to
you?
do with that. No.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, so Dino and all the boys were in there, you know, all the partying boys. But I was so in love with Dino, man, because Dino was so lighthearted fun. He was so fun. And I remember running in, and I saw him. It was like 3 or 4 of them. Like I think even Tito Santana, who never went out, he didn't go out much. I'm not sure about that. I don't want to get that wrong. But it was just a bunch of the boys, and Dino was right there in the middle. And I come running, Dino! And I did like a crossbody, and he caught me. And he goes, why do you look at these girls? And I looked at that girl, and I was like, you want some cock? Dino thought that was the greatest thing in the world. He fucking went around for like months. You want some cock? Oh, that's my favorite. I know it's silly as shit, but that's my favorite of Dino, man. He was, I loved him, man. We'd be on the plane with Ronnie, you know.
Oh,
flying.
Dino would go on the plane too.
Yeah,
sometimes?
Ronnie Garvin.
Yeah.
It would be the Rougeau brothers, me and Dino and Sean. And Ronnie Garvin would be flying his own plane. And we'd be playing crib and shit. He was just so funny. Like he'd win a game of cribbage or something. You'd chop the walls. Like, uh-oh. Did I just break the microphone? You got me? Okay. He'd be chopping the side of the plane himself. He would be so happy he won a hand. Dino was so good, man.
I think by the time he came back for that late 80s run, I think he bulked up a little too much.
Well, you know,
was
he
too
could bench
big.
press. He could bench press over 500.
He could, but as far as having a good match goes...
You know, they put him on styrofoam weights, you know, when they did it on
Yeah.
TV. They had styrofoam weights, but he legitimately could do over 500 back when that was a lot. You know, later Mark Henry and all them were doing 700.
Patera, Rastani.
Yeah, or Ted Arcidi, you know.
Yeah.
We're doing 700. Like, gosh, damn, fuck it.
But do you think that ruined his mobility, that he got so big?
Nah, it was
His
still pretty-
matches were terrible.
That's not because of his mobility.
Well,
He didn't really care for the psychology. He just thought go in there and bang him up, kick him up, bang him up, kick him up.
yeah, I was never big on Dino. I thought everything, his matches with
Y'all
Ken
would have loved each other personality-wise.
personality-wise.
Yep.
Well, he was in a Canadian Paisan.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. I remember he had a series with Ken Patera, and I thought they was some of the most boring, unwatchable matches
That might have been
I've ever
Ken's
seen.
fault.
Huh?
That might have been Ken's fault. I love you, Ken. Ken was boring.
Oh,
One of the strongest, he was a strong man in the
Yeah.
Olympics. And
But I can't think of a good match that Dino Bravo had the entire run he had in WWF at that time.
Ronnie Garvin.
I know he had an earlier one back before I was a fan. I think in the early 80s
who
he
did
was
he
there
tag
for a
with
little bit.
Remember he was tag team-
Earthquake.
Did he?
Yeah, they were main eventing for a while when his business was going down the toilet. But I mean,
Yeah,
I
it must
just,
have been. That was the main event.
I can't. He had matches with
Nothing against
Warrior.
either one. They're both dead.
He had matches with Warrior. He had a big feud with him. I didn't think was very good. His matches with Tugboat were awful. His matches with Hogan
love
weren't
old
much
Tuggy.
to write home
What up,
about.
Tug?
Patera, I mentioned. I'm trying to think of who else Bravo had a big feud
It seems
with.
like he tagged with Greg Valentine for a little bit.
They did the new Dream Team, and I think
that
they
what it was?
complemented each other well.
Yeah.
That was in '87 into
Yeah,
early
we had to work
88.
with them one time.
The new Dream Team?
Yeah,
And what did you think
well,
of? What did you think of the new Dream
God
Team?
damn, man, they chopped the shit out of us.
Was
You
it
know,
better
when you
than the
can't
old
work,
Dream
you
Team?
chop.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that for Ric Flair, because Ric Flair can work. But generally, when you don't know what the fuck you're doing, just chop the person. The whole match long.
Well, it
Can't
always,
throw a punch, chop.
it always took Greg 15 minutes to get warmed up, right? As Carla Monsoon used to say.
You mean at nighttime or?
Oh, you'd have to ask Annie about that. But I mean, I'm
You
talking
love
about
Annie.
as far as his in-ring
He
work
loves
goes.
that. I hate to say it, ass-eating Annie, but he loves her so much.
I love the stories. And you know I do.
One
the
of
inner
my friends,
child
one
in
of
me
my
comes
friends
out
said
and glows.
he's trying to get with her.
No.
She works for Hulk Hogan's restaurant.
Really?
I don't know. That's what somebody said.
Oh, well.
I don't know if that's true or
Your
not.
friend or Annie?
Annie.
Annie works for Hulk Hogan's restaurant? Yeah. I don't think that. She lives up here.
I don't know where his restaurant's at. He might have a restaurant up here.
Well,
I don't know.
If he does,
I don't know
know.
that it's true. I'm just trying to hook you up. Brother.
I know he has one down in Florida.
Are you married or not?
No.
Then let me hook you up.
No, that's something. There's no attachment needed, by hand, arm, or any other bodily part. But the new Dream Team, they were pretty much done at that point. So you
called
must
it.
have had a couple of matches. Yeah.
Oh my God! And it was that big ass 20-foot, 22-foot ring. You got rings, so you know how big they are.
Oh yeah.
The 22 foot's like a football field. You shoot up in the ropes, you got to run for half an hour before you hit the ropes. You're blowed up by the time you come back to take a hip toss.
I think we use 16 by 16, so that's a
smaller
big
ones.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Huge difference.
Those big guys
Even
must
the
have
way
got
you
so
bump,
blown
because
up.
on the 16-footers, you got to bump in closer. You hit the rope.
Yeah.
You know, the 20-footer, you bump any goddamn. All right, any damn where.
Did it?
I got to stop cursing.
What size of a ring did you have in AWA? Do you remember?
20.
So, to the fans at home that may not really think along those lines, what was the adjustment like? How long did it take you to get? Yeah. How long did it take you to get used to a new ring that was just a little bit bigger on every side?
Not that much, because when it started in Kansas City, it was an 18-footer, and sometimes they would use the 16-footer small, man. That's for the littler guys, like the Hispanic, what do they call them?
Lucha Libre.
Yeah. Luchadors, yeah. Because they're littler guys,
Yeah.
so a 16-footer's, is good for them. But we'd use the 18-footer, but sometimes go to the 16 with 18, and then Kansas City didn't have the 20-footer. We went AWA before we got the 20-footer, and that's like, well, gosh, damn, it's a football field. And then WWE, they even had a 22-footer. Like, fuck. I know it's only 2 feet more when you're in a wrestling match and you're getting thrown into the ropes and you got to run for a half an hour to get to the ropes.
Not just that, your timing and your pacing.
Everything's
you're trying
different.
to get used to it.
Yeah, because you got to be
Those
quick.
extra 2 feet can mean a lot.
Yeah, your timing's so different. 16-footer, you better be quick.
Like a ping pong going through that one.
Yeah, man.
All right, wrestling fans, we're having so much fun as we flash back to the year 1989. We're going to take a brief timeout. We're going to be back with more Party with Marty after this brief timeout. Stand by. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marati.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It was all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now available on eBay.
At WrestleMania 37, she proved she is the EST, defeating Sasha Banks to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Here's your chance to own this limited edition collector's autograph print, personally signed by Bianca Belair, one of only 50 made, direct from our friends at WWE. Also signed by original artist Rob Schamberger. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome Bianca Belair collectible for your wrestling collection now.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders as we begin to wrap up this week. Another question that came from the fans, Marty, was a man that WWF, I should say, tried to give a try with in the mid-'80s. They brought back for another chance, so to speak. Mega Man Tom McGee. He was given the dark match.
He died, didn't he? Recently.
No, did he?
I think he did. Hey, somebody check and see if Tom McGee died.
Mega Man Tom McGee.
I think he did, but he was a bodybuilder.
Yeah, they brought him back.
He died recently.
They brought him back to WWF television
Well,
taping.
I hope I'm not misspeaking on that in case he's sitting there watching like I'm not dead.
They brought him back for another tryout.
They called him Bolt Upright.
They called him what?
Bolt upright.
Why is that?
Well, because he was pretty, he could jump pretty good. So
Oh,
they called
really?
him Bolt upright. Yeah, he was a good athlete, man.
I think he may have gone through Calgary at one point.
Yep.
So Brett made it a mission for his dock match to look superb, to the point that, as wrestling lore goes, Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson thought they may have the next Hulk Hogan after watching the
He had
the
a
dock
body,
match.
man, because I think he won something like Mr. Canada or some shit. He won a body, and he was, strongman. He was he won, like, strongman contest where you lift up bricks and put them on.
He was like Patera Rastani.
Yeah.
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 But do you?
I think he died.
Well, that match became kind of
I'm not sure, though.
an underground legend where Brett made him look like he could be the main event guy of WWF. Then they put him in the ring with other people, and he was the absolute shits. Do you remember anything about that match? Do you remember,
No, I don't
do you remember
remember
anybody raving about Tom McGee as a guy that could potentially be the guy for WWF?
Oh yeah, that's when they called him Bolt upright. That was his. That's what he was going as, Bolt upright. He was a hell of an athlete, and we worked out at the gym. Like I remember in particular in California, the Gold's Gym that we all worked out there. Rich Menzer, took care of us out there at the Gold's Gym, and not like that. But yeah, Tom was in there like you could see he was built like your mother.
Yeah.
But he's in there working out light. I'm going light today, and he's doing heavier than we can fucking do on our power days. We're like, oh my god. And he was such a limber, flexible athlete. A lot of bodybuilders are stiff; they can't move too good.
Like Bravo, as we were just talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, But but his matches, they weren't. Nothing against you, Tom. I love you, brother.
So you never saw the Brett one that became
No,
kind
I
of a
didn't.
legend,
No,
no?
I didn't see that.
The other work that you
You
did
saw
see
it?
of him, I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
I know that, I think on the 30th anniversary, a lot was made to be of the match, because I don't know whether it surfaced on YouTube or on a WWE DVD release, but I mean, everyone that has seen it that I've spoken to said Brett made him look like he could be
Brett could do that.
the main event guy of WWF in '89,
That's Brett.
more
That's how
so
good
than
Brett
Hogan,
was.
more so than Warrior, and then every other guy they put McGee in the ring with, it was absolutely terrible. Which is a testament to Brett's work, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
Brett could make him look good.
Yeah. Did you?
Tony Atlas thinks I'm a racist.
Well, that's good.
That's not good. Why do you want to agree with it?
Did you ever have any interesting insight with Tom McGee other than working out at the gym with him?
No,
or-
we were boys. I mean, we loved each other. Not like that. And
Do you ever travel?
I don't think so. I don't think so that either. No, just pretty much. Yeah. And the gym, yeah.
From what you saw, did you ever get the impression that he could be a main player in WWF?
He looked the part, but he.
That was it.
Yeah.
He looked good in an 8x10 in an action figure.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah. Well, that's too bad. But I mean, but at least Brett seemed like he gave him a fighting chance.
I never got to see it, but I don't doubt because Brett can make anybody look good. If he wanted to, he can make you look bad too. You could be good. If he didn't want you to look good, you ain't gonna look good.
They put that guy on the road for months and months. I don't know if they were looking for someone to find the right chemistry with him for, or.
Well, I think they were. Mine? Oh, shit, sorry. Oh, yeah, it did. Okay.
Well, you never know what to expect.
Is that better?
Is that better, Cecil? Thank you. We
Okay.
don't want to get Cecil angry over there. They call him the raging beast for a reason.
Well, you shouldn't know that.
He's an animal.
You shouldn't know that.
Well, I can only go by what Gary said.
You
but
told
anyway,
me, you promised me you wasn't gay.
I'm not.
I'm not upset with y'all, the LGBTQRS club. But I mean, I need to know the guys that are gay. Like, when we would take dressing, showers, like with Rick Martel, we would generally wait till he got in and out.
Yeah.
Before we'd go shower. But you need to know the ones that might be looking at your ass while you're showering. And we don't dislike them, but you just don't want somebody staring at your thing-a-ling or your butt.
How many people would you say in that era would you be uncomfortable showering around?
Virgil, but they wouldn't because Virgil was gay. Virgil's thing he would hang but like this.
Yeah.
If he'd sling around real fast, it would sling and hit you in the leg. Like, God damn, get that off me.
What about Lanny?
Now, Lanny always kept to himself.
Yeah.
Some people thought Lanny would go both ways.
Well, I know he had a lovely daughter, so I don't know if that was an issue. But with Lanny, it was more. It was the service. What's
Vince
that?
has got Stephanie and Shane.
Well,
that's the end of that story, right?
but again, just let me go back to that real quick. Would you say it was just like there were a couple of guys you were leery of the round?
No,
shot
really.
and
No,
all
I
that?
mean, really, I was just teasing about Rick.
Or a little
We
uncomfortable.
didn't worry.
A little uncomfortable.
Well, you didn't want
Who
somebody.
wants to be gawked at? You know?
Yeah, I mean, especially if your back's to them.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're looking at them, you can make sure you look at them and they don't look at you. But when your back's to them, they can be staring all up and down. They can be damn eye fucking your ass.
Like Jacques Rougeau and the woman in the elevator.
Yeah, he saved that memory.
I still remember it now for all we know.
He probably does. She did. It was Donna. It was Electra. Oh, shit, I shouldn't have told.
Oh, the one that broke into ECW?
ECW,
Yeah?
yes. Oh. Hey, Don, I love you. I miss you.
Well, I'll tell you, the party with Marty, it took her quite a while to break into the business.
Yeah, but she was, her body was so good, she used it.
Yeah, well. We'll take that for what it is, folks. Before we go to Marty, in case he is passed away, and I don't have Google in front of me.
Hey, somebody check Tom
Did
McGee.
anyone look up Tom McGee, the Mega Man? Is he still with us?
They were talking about him on Strongman contest. I was watching about a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they brought his name up because he had a record.
Yeah.
For one of the events, like I think that big ass round ball that they put up on the thing. He had done it in like the fastest time or whatever, and then this guy beat his time, and he'd had it for like 20 years.
Well, it's too bad he was so lousy because, like you said, he had
wasn't
a
lousy.
great
Don't
look.
say it like
he was
that.
lousy. He had a great look.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you wanted to market action figures, posters, and things like that, I mean, this is a guy. I mean, who knows how he got the physique, but
you got well, that don't even matter. You still got to work out.
no, you sure do. You sure do.
But you got to remember, back then, they didn't have all the Ronda Rouseys and all the, the football stars and all that. They were trying to get the crossover.
Yeah.
So you had, Ken Matera, strongman, Olympic strongman. Dino Bravo did something. I think he had a Canadian record with bench press for a while. And, you were getting stars from crossovers, what we called it. He died?
No, he's alive, but he was almost killed by 6 guys who beat him up.
Oh,
that's right.
I remember that. And he was trying to save someone, I think. Is that how the story went?
Yeah, I remember that picture right there where he got beat up.
That's where his name came from recently. Right. Well,
sorry,
he
Tom.
doesn't have
Love
that,
you, brother.
He doesn't have the Mega Man physique anymore, I guess is the best way to
No,
put
in
it.
the face either.
Well, the face, yeah. Maybe California? I don't know. We have
Yeah, he was
our
Cali.
crack staff, John C. Riley here of Boston Wrestling, looking it up. It doesn't say?
No, it says L.A.
L.A., okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's California.
He was Cali.
I
He was a
think,
Cali
yeah.
boy now.
Well, sorry, Tom. You tried to do a good
Yeah,
deed
love you,
and it
brother.
went wrong.
Sorry, I didn't try to mean to put you in the grave.
Parking dispute.
Parking dispute. Okay, well.
It was from what I understand, it was some brothers, about 5 or 6
Yeah.
brothers.
He said 6, I think.
But who counted?
Neighbors, I would guess.
It was in a
Or
parking lot.
security cameras. I think it was near his house, if I remember. I remember now that he's reading it. I'm sorry, what did you say?
His driveway.
It was his driveway, okay.
His own driveway? Oh, man, that sucks.
All right, well, those are the memories of the poor Mega Man Tom McGee. Again, Marty, a very interesting, insightful episode. We talked a little bit about your feud with the Rougeaus that went on for about 6 months in 1989. Oh, we sure did.
Good.
Talked about the crown being passed around from Jim Duggan to Haku, Dino Bravo and his passing away, and Mega Man Tom McGee, who, while he, took a licking, at least he kept on kicking, and he's still with us. For my partner in crime, Mr. Marty Jannetty, we'll be back next Thursday night, 10 p.m., for another Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 10 p.m., when the lights in the Thunderdome on SmackDown go down, the light on his head is just turning on. John Cena Sr., if we can pry him away from Margot Roulette, hopefully he'll be with us for another fabulous Fridays. You and yours, be well, stay healthy. Good night.
Electra has a hell of ass.
The World Wrestling Federation was live at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden in New York, New York, Monday, April the 22nd, 1991. In the opening contest, the Dragon beat Haku. Power and Glory with the win over the Bushwhackers. The Big Boss Man defeated the Mountie. Sergeant Slaughter victorious over WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan via disqualification. IRS beat Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich battled the Warlord to a double countout. The Rockers and Virgil with the win over the Orient Express and Mr. Fuji. And Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase defeated Rowdy Roddy Piper via referee's decision when Piper wouldn't submit to the figure four. If you were at MSG Live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll Journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view, watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.